let's pivot over to one of our favorite companies out there, Matt, Mastercard. Mastercard, obviously the big payments provider, one of the owners of the rails, so to speak, that really help all of these payments get from point A to point B. And we've been talking a lot about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and stuff like that over the past couple of years. And digital currency, cryptocurrency, I think, is gaining a little momentum, a little bit more credibility. And so we're seeing a lot of companies out there with big and respectable positions in the space start experimenting with the cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, things like that a little bit more. Sounds like Mastercard is starting to place some more bets in this space, actually looking to establish its own digital currency team, not necessarily to establish its own digital currency, but it looks like more how they're going to be a part of this digital currency world as it gains a little bit more share in our lives. I tell you, man, the first thing I thought of when I read this was that it adds to my skepticism that Facebook, whether directly or indirectly, is really equipped to deal with a market like this. And I think a lot of that goes back to two things. For all of the strengths that Facebook has, I think, number one, it has a brand problem. I don't know that I look at Facebook and think that I trust them with my money. But then also, it really goes to show you that there are companies out there that have been building themselves on this payment space for a very long time. I mean, this is stuff that Mastercard and Visa and other companies like this are really equipped to deal with and build versus something like a Facebook. So, when we see Mastercard partnering up with Libra and being a part of that network, that's a very small bet on Mastercard's part. I mean, that could just evaporate tomorrow and it's nothing. To see Mastercard wanting to get in there and take their ownership and build this space out a little bit, though, I think is kind of interesting.
Yeah, well, Mastercard has said in the past that so-called stable coins, which means cryptocurrencies that are pegged to the U.S. dollar or some other currency, definitely will play a role in its future. And it's not hard to see why. MoneyGram and Ripple is a big example. They just partnered. And the idea is that how much does it cost you to wire money overseas right now? $30, $40?
Sometimes
that
more,
sounds about standard. So the idea is that if you have these so-called stable coins, you can use them to transfer money internationally with, for a few pennies instead of, $30 or $40.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely, and the same technology could theoretically be applied to, domestic money transfers as well, which is where a MasterCard would come in. So if they could cut down fees, it can make them more competitive with, say, Visa and American Express when shopping around, when getting merchants to accept their card. There's a big war on fees going on, as we know.
Oh, yeah.
So the payments company that can offer the cheapest services is going to win long term. And MasterCard, this is kind of the first step in them doing that. And this kind of ties in with the discussion we had last time I was on about the question of whether payments companies had something to worry about from cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
And we mentioned that it's kind of an error in thinking to consider them as two separate types of companies. Cryptocurrencies and blockchain are technologies that will eventually be incorporated into these companies, especially as they gain traction.
Sure. It's a new facet to this overall market as it evolves.
Right. And you could bet if cryptocurrencies really start picking up traction, that MasterCard is not going to be the last one to do this. I wouldn't be surprised if Visa and American Express have already had similar discussion. American Express partnered with Ripple that I already mentioned a few years ago already, in order to kind of investigate the applications of that technology. That was Ripple's biggest name partnership, I think, until this point. So it's definitely an interesting development. I don't think it'll be the last. They're definitely the first of the big payments companies to really start hiring for their own cryptocurrency division. But I would be really surprised if we didn't see this coming from the other ones pretty soon.